I'm Jody Servon. I'm an artist who lives and works in Boone, North Carolina. I teach at Appalachian State University. So I introduced one of my projects, Dreams for Free, to the students. And that project, I buy 50 lottery tickets and I go out into a community and I ask people if they'd like to take a moment to dream. And at Glenn High School, I asked students, I gave them a figure because most of them are under 18 and lottery tickets aren't something that we'd be able to give them. But I asked them what they would do with $100 million.
You know what? Okay.
What you would do with $1 million, Julie?
I would donate to charities and spoil my mother because she has always been my mother and father.
I would pay for college and invest the rest.
I would pay for college.
The last meal was really inspired by getting students to really think about who they are and what makes one student sitting at a table in an art room or in a psychology class different from the next student. So I asked them to imagine that they had one meal left on earth, and what would that meal consist of? And for some of them it was hot fries and soda, and other people wanted to think about things that their grandmother had made, or enchiladas, things that were culturally important to them, things that were comfort food. And it was a really fun way to see the students interacting with each other and kind of feeding each other things that that were important to them. Another project that I showed the students was a project called Scene. And for this project, in the past, I've checked out a number of library books from wherever I'm asked to do the project and selected one particular image from that book. Then when people come to participate in the project, whether it's at a university or an art space, they come up and they choose one book and they take a clipboard that has a little instruction sheet on it. And I ask people to slow down, to really think about this one image for a minimum of 10 minutes. And 10 minutes in our lifetime is a really short period of time. But when you're asked to focus on one set image in our, crazy hectic world where we have this barrage of visuals coming at us, if you think about how many images we look at on a phone on a daily basis, chances are we don't look at any of them for 10 minutes. So what I asked the students to do was do the same thing, and we projected an image by Diane Arbus, and we asked them to think about what they see for 10 minutes. I underscore $1 is another project that I've done in public places, and all of my projects really involve public spaces and interaction with anybody who's willing to participate. In this project, I've done a few different places, downtown Greensboro and Brooklyn. What I do is I go get 100 $1 bills, and I hang them up in a public place with a little sign asking people to contemplate their situation and decide whether they want or need $1. And if they decide they want the $1, they should think about whether it's better left for somebody who may need it more, or if they need the $1, they're invited to take the $1. And so what I asked students to do, we did a series of little exercises in my residency. What I asked them to do was to draw a map of what they see on their way to school, from home to school.
What do I see on the way to school? Well, I see Wendy's. I see a gas station.
Well, I saw my Nana walking the dog this morning with her cup of coffee, and then I saw a turkey on the road that was about to run out in the middle of the road, but I guess he got scared because I was coming through, so he ran back.
One of the projects that I shared with the students is called Hanging On and Holding Out. And in this project, I was dealing with an emotional situation that was occurring in my family, the illness and subsequent death of my father. And I was thinking about a way to represent myself throughout these trials that I was living through. And I chose to come up with a little drawing figure that then became a three-dimensional object. It became something that was represented in photographs, but ultimately it was a representation of myself. And I showed this project to the students, and I showed them different iterations of how these legs were realized. And then I gave them really simple materials. I gave them an orange, a plastic knife, and some toothpicks. And I asked them to think about how they would represent themselves. What are the ways that they would think that others would see them? What are the ways that they were feeling on the inside? How they felt physically, how they felt emotionally, and asked them to go to town on this one little orange. And some of the realizations were really magical.
I was feeling really loved and really happy, and then as I was drawing it, I was trying to draw these little feet right here, like I'm standing up, like in a powerful position.
I feel blindfolded, but at the same time, I feel surrendered onto something or someone.
One of the projects that I was commissioned to do by Secca for the collective action show that was on view in January was our top 100. And it's a remake of a project that I'd done previously where I'd compiled a list of my top 100 songs. But what I did for Glenn High School was create a project that was the Glenn High School Top 100. And what I asked students to do was to consider a song that was meaningful to them and then write down the memory of that song. So what we did at the field day was we set up a booth and we projected the Glenn High School playlist over the loudspeaker so all of the students participating in field day could come to the booth and read the stories with the memories. They could also contribute new songs and stories, and then they could also listen to the songs, which rotated for a wide range of music that were of interest to the students.